You want a picture of what Graham was? There's his shoes. His skateboard shoes. But we once had 20 pairs of shoes. Had every one of his skateboards that he busted the hell out of everything. About a year before he died, we cleaned it up and burned all his old busted up skateboards. Oh man, I thought, dang boy, I wish I had that now. I still got one of his first ones in the garage.
Graham died, it was Wednesday. They called and told me Graham was in the hospital. He was very serious. He had a head injury. I think they told me that.
Yeah.
I asked them if there had been an accident, and they said, no ma'am, no accident. I said, well, what happened? And they said, well, can you come to the hospital? I said, well, of course. It's the worst day ever.
Yeah.
They just took him every hour, 2 hours, I don't know. And the whole time his brain activity was just dropping. But they have to keep checking until it stops.
I noticed all these funny looking scratches all over him. You know, I said, what the heck is that? What is, look like little chicken feet. I found out later, those were the wires from the tasers.
It's just his ashes that are here.
Yeah.
Just a box of ashes.
Yeah. If that had just said, we did this and look into this and fire these guys, you know, or something like that. Something. When somebody does something wrong, root them out, get rid of them, punish them.
They never claimed they feared for their life. You know, so he was no threat to anybody. They should have been there to help him, and he ended up killing him.
For me, this slab was kind of special. You know, this is where Graham skateboarded on. Lots of whack, 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 whack right out there. So it's kind of neat to know that it's still here.
Cops who tasered handcuffed teen on his testicles until he died, on video, can't be charged. The department kept the video of its cops killing a teen with a taser secret long enough that it surpassed the statute of limitations 3 measly years. By Matt Agorist, June 24, 2017. Mesquite, Texas. As the Free Thought Project reported earlier this year, police were caught on video tasering a young man's testicles and his body until he died. Now, we have just learned that although the Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson found that the officers involved had committed a crime during their torture, they cannot be charged. If I could go back in time and have this case, it would be indicted, said Michael Snipes, the first assistant district attorney. we would have pursued criminally negligent homicide charges. These charges cannot be brought now, however, because in spite of the family just finding out about their son's horrifying death, cops kept the footage of it secret long enough for the statute of limitations to expire. As My Statesman reports, such charges cannot be brought more than 3 years after the incident, which came to the district attorney's attention as the result of an American Statesman investigation 2 months ago. And while there is no such limitation on the higher charge of manslaughter, Snipes said the officer's behavior that contributed to Graham's death didn't reach the level of a knowing disregard for his life. Now, the nightmare Graham's parents have been enduring since losing their son that fateful night, just got even worse. On August 14, 2013, Kathy and Robert Dyer got a phone call one night that is every parent's nightmare. Their son, Graham, was in the hospital. The 18-year-old boy had been severely injured during a struggle with police and was fighting for his life, a fight he would lose. When Kathy and Robert got to the hospital that night, police refused to let them see their son. They said he was in serious trouble, that he had felony charges for assaulting an officer, Kathy recalled. Read more, Why Violent Cops Rule. Graham had taken LSD that night and his friends called police after he had a bad reaction to it. Police claimed Graham injured himself as they drove him to jail. While the video does show Graham flailing back and forth, police failed to mention to the parents that they tortured him, repeatedly, with a taser, including deploying it on his genitalia. Although this tragic incident happened in 2013, Kathy and Robert are only now finding out what happened to their son. For more than 2 years, the Mesquite Police Department would keep the video of Graham before he went to the hospital a secret. Now, after watching the video, we know why. Thanks to the work of Eric Dexheimer at Austin's My Statesman, the Dyer's story is now being told. And although the Mesquite Police Department won't face charges for their horrifying actions, they are getting some much-deserved negative attention. As My Statesman reported in April, it seemed improbable the 5 officers who'd brought him in couldn't safely subdue Graham. The youngest of the Dyer's 3 children was small and slight, 5'4", 110 pounds. He was a skateboarder, not a linebacker. As the morning passed, a series of scans showed Graham's brain activity slowing to a stop. The worst day ever, Kathy said. Their son's autopsy said he died of self-inflicted head injuries, an accident, the medical examiner concluded. Even in the dark days following their son's death, the Dyers tended to believe the police. Why wouldn't they? Kathy, a civil engineer, and Robert, a teacher, were solid citizens. Even though they were originally inclined to believe police, Dyer's parents continued to ask more and more questions, like what were all those chicken feet scratches all over Graham's body? Or, why did the emergency room doctor's notes say Graham appeared to be a victim of assault? Read more, Case goes to jury trial to punish citizen for asking a police officer a question. However, when Kathy and Robert went down to the Mesquite Police Department, they were not given answers to any of their questions because police weren't required to answer any of them. According to the ridiculous state law, police departments aren't required to hand over records for any incidents that don't result in a conviction. Since police killed Graham before he was able to stand trial for his alleged crimes, they were shielded from handing over the evidence. For years, the Dyers would fight to get this information from police. Eventually, because of their persistence, the Dyers finally obtained the video footage from their son's last hours alive. When they viewed it for the first time, they realized everything police said that happened that night was a lie. Those chicken feet scratches, they would learn, were from taser prongs. The family hired Susan Hutchison to build a civil rights case against the department. During her investigation, horrifying details emerged. As My Statesman reports, Hutchison said the additional information contained more troubling details about Graham's interaction with the police. Taser records indicated 4 officers shocked him multiple times, she said. As Graham is being stunned with a taser in the back seat of the cruiser, one can be heard saying, "Mother expletive, I'm going to kill you." And kill him they did. At one point in the horrifying video, an officer is seen sadistically deploying the taser directly on Graham's penis. It's as if these officers enjoyed causing harm to this clearly distressed boy. When asked about the use of the tasers, the department wrote it off as standard procedure. A taser was deployed in an effort to control decedent, prevent escape and prevent him from injuring himself, the city stated in court documents, adding the officer had been aiming for Graham's leg and it was dark. Read more. Watch, cops strangle, beat innocent disabled man to force him to lie for them. However, in the video, we can clearly see the cop hold the taser to Graham's genitals. This is, by no means, standard procedure to prevent suspects from hurting themselves. Even with this lawsuit, the Dyers keep hitting roadblocks in holding these cops accountable, like the statute of limitations protecting the criminal cops who killed their son. As Hutchison said, police departments in effect, have complete immunity and no accountability, at least in Texas. The Dyers aren't even going after money. As My Statesman reports, Robert said his goal for the lawsuit is modest, I just want them to say they fucked up. I'm not saying doing LSD wasn't stupid, Kathy said. And things happen. But this should have never happened. In spite of this selfless family getting railroaded by the corrupt system, they have taken action to make sure this doesn't happen to other families. As the Statesman reports, Kathy and Robert testified in front of legislators in support of a bill that could help other families in their position. Sponsored by Representative Joe Moody, D. El Paso, House Bill 3234 would have compelled law enforcement agencies to release their investigative records if, like Graham, the suspect had died, or, if not, gave his consent to their release. The couple's emotional testimony appeared to move several of the lawmakers on the State House Committee on Government Transparency and Operation. However, thanks to the police state worship in Texas, the bill only made it out of committee and then died. The family has now pledged that they will fight to the end for justice.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, And that was every month. Oh my God. Yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.